I came to Barrington this morning to see a very beautiful house that has elements of sort of a Frank Lloyd Wright look or a prairie nature-inspired look. This is Pat Erickson, the widow of the man who designed the house, Don Erickson, her agent, Joe Kunkel. And Pat, it's not wrong to mention Frank Lloyd Wright. The two had a relationship, Don Erickson and Frank Lloyd Wright.
Yeah, Don considered Mr. Wright a second father to him. He trained under him from 1948 to 51.
And we can see that in the house, but tell me a little bit about what makes it a Don Erickson house.
Well, Don was this was his laboratory, and what's unique about it is the pagoda-shaped roofs, which Don called his Jamaican roofs, and all the use of exterior materials inside, making the transition flawless from outside to inside.
Exterior materials would count this brick.
The brick is inside and out, the pecky cypress, the rough sawn cedar that you see, the beams travel indoor to outdoor. The plants, a lot of the plants are similar that we have indoors that are outdoors in our gardens. Of course,
You mentioned we can't see it in the snow, but
No.
you have ferns inside and then you have
Yes.
a fern valley outside.
Yes, we do.
Well, that's terrific.
Yeah.
And so what was the idea, for people who wouldn't know, what would be the idea of a house like this? Why does it look like this and not like a colonial?
Because it's supposed to be a liberation. It's allowing you to expand and be free and to explore. There's nothing that's constricting or confining. Everything is just a pleasure and a jewel.
Here in the atrium, Pat, we come across these two enormous lights that I can't get into one shot, and they have more of that relationship to Wright. They're beautiful, and there's a reason they're here.
Don designed them as his homage, his tribute to Mr. Wright and one of his two favorite buildings, which was Mr. Wright's Mile High building. So his father, who was a master staircase builder, built them, and Don designed them. Now we're leaving the upper living room to the lower living room, otherwise known as a gathering space. In here we had music. Where you're standing right now, we had two 9-foot grand pianos nested together for four-handed piano.
Oh, wow.
And here's a wonderful example of the ferns coming from the inside, and they go seamlessly outside to our own little fern gully underneath the oak trees. So when you're seated, you're at eye level to the ground outside, so it's like you're in your own little tropical forest. Okay, we're approaching from the dining room into our wonderful chef's kitchen, which is a recent renovation to the home and an updated kitchen.
I see you've got the double ovens.
We do. We have the full-size double ovens, which is great for catering. You can get the large trays in there, and that's why we have the 4-foot Sub-Zero, so that you can get the large caterers' trays.
All right. You can also, you've got these great roll-out trays for pots and pans.
Yeah, those are Gaggenau roll-out racks, so you have easy access to all of your pots and pans. And then in the island, we have a special feature of, there's electricity in there, so you can set your mixer on here, and it's great. But it's also, we have a separate sheet of glass on top, so that when you're sitting here cutting and preparing foods, your recipe book can be under here. You can sit down in comfort and chop all you want. And then if this gets marred in any way, you can just throw it away and buy a new piece of glass.
Sure. And then what we've got to talk about is these doors. These are your design, I think, the cabinet doors.
Well, the doors, the concept was mine. I wanted Soji screen doors, and Don was brighter than I and decided that we needed art glass. It's more durable in the kitchen, and I have to agree with him.
So they'd have had white paper here rather than the glass.
Right, so he put the art glass in. He actually hand cut the art glass himself.
Did he really?
He did.
And some of the evolution you told me about is the dining room here, which is not furnished, so we're not spending a lot of time, and the pool were later. Or the pool, what changed there?
The pool was introduced in about 1977, and it started as an exterior pool, and Don realized he lived in Illinois, so it became an interior pool. And with that evolution became the dining room and the guest bedroom and bath.
Oh, terrific.
Off the great room, family room, pool room area, you can see our wonderful outdoor patio, which is now about 2 feet under snow.
Right.
And the pots that we have out there are fish pots that we have every summer. We put goldfish in there.
Oh, neat.
And the building behind that, which is connected to the main house with the brick wall, is our carriage house, the guest house.
This room is wonderful, this master bedroom. You mentioned that the raised platform bed was originally
The
a
platform
waterbed?
bed was designed to be a waterbed, and it was for many years until my husband broke his roof, fell off the roof and broke his back,
Oh.
and then we had to use a conventional setup.
But here you were beneath this pagoda roof with plants hanging above, right?
Yes.
Back to the idea of the Erickson resort. And you've got windows all around, and you've got a ton of room. Not only do we have the bed area, but back over there you said was
That's where my writing desk was.
terrific. And then over here.
And then
we
over
have-
here, right in front here, was the seating area where we had chairs and a table. And then over in the little niche here was my little exercise area.
Oh, great. So tell me the story of your husband and the master bathrooms. There are 2 master bathrooms in this suite, starting with this little one.
This is for the more conservative person. Don would call them the people with the taboo, where they needed a small enclosed area. And then for the more liberated people, he created an outdoor bathroom indoors.
Oh, this is great.
So you could shower under the stars,
Oh, wow.
and there is no enclosures to inhibit you.
Very interesting. So we've got them both. We've got both bathrooms right next to each other.
They're back to back for, your preference.
He built them sequentially, right? He started with the
He
one.
started with the interior one because the first wife was more conservative and the second wife was more liberated, so that's the reflection of their relationship.
This is one of 3 fireplaces with these very vertical supports. It's a real heavy chimney supported by very light verticals.
Verticals,
And
yeah.
there's a story to them.
These verticals were designed by Don the week of his death.
Wow.
He was designing to the day he passed away. He was once interviewed, and at that time he was 70, and they asked him, did he have any intentions of retiring soon? And he said, "Oh, I'll never retire. I'll work to the day I die." And he did.
Oh, wow.